guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about upgrading your equipment and whether it's worth it to do so, and also about just the general concept of upgrading your camera equipment. And it's also going to touch on just I think a few of the points on whether you do need the best equipment and when is the right time to upgrade. And I think a lot of people have these questions, and sometimes even for myself I'm sort of like, is it time to upgrade? I just want to quickly go through some of the equipment that I have still and that I haven't upgraded yet. That's not to say that I won't upgrade my equipment at some stage, but it's just a few pieces of equipment that I haven't felt the need to upgrade just yet. And the first thing is my camera. I still use a Canon 5D Mark II, and for some people that's just like a dinosaur camera now, because some people do like to upgrade as soon as the next camera model comes out, and quite regularly. Unfortunately for me, I don't really have the money to constantly upgrade my equipment, so definitely that is a factor why I have just not upgraded a lot of my kit. I just feel like, you know, unfortunately photography is one of those career paths that is not the cheapest out there. So that is definitely an issue for me in upgrading. It's just so expensive, and you have to weigh it up, I think, sometimes in terms of what you already have. Is it worth it to spend all that money and upgrade just at this stage? Now, I understand that my camera model is probably about 2 behind at the moment, and as much as I would love to go and get the 5D Mark IV, there's just a few reasons why I haven't upgraded yet. And look, I've had my camera for about 7 years nearly, because I got it in January 2011. So it's been a while since I got my 5D Mark II, and there are things that are starting to affect the way that I shoot, and it's just not running as well as it used to. And I think for a lot of people, you do tend to find that you know when it's nearly time to upgrade. And I think I'm getting the feeling with my camera now that yes, it is nearly time to upgrade. But I mean, the fact is I could have upgraded it years ago and I didn't. Now, the reason I haven't upgraded my 5D Mark II is because it's a great freaking camera, and I didn't really find the need to be honest. In terms of quality, it's still a great camera, and I was so happy when I first got it because I had my Canon 400D, which was my first SLR, and I'd had that for about 4 years actually, since I started photography in 2007, since I started shooting. And I kept that for 4 years because I really wanted to make use of the equipment that I had, and I wanted to experiment with it and get to the point where I felt, yes, I'm comfortable enough to upgrade now and I think I'm ready. Obviously, you know, there's no set time for people when they're ready to upgrade, and if you've been doing photography for like 3 days and you feel like you want a Mark IV, then go for it. However, I'd say that's just, you know, it doesn't have to be the case. You don't always have to go for the top range equipment straight away. You don't have to upgrade every time something new comes onto the market. And I think for a lot of newer photographers, sometimes this is a bit of a stressful thing for them because they feel like they do need to upgrade, or they do need to have the best equipment to produce great images, and it's so not true. I think you can pretty much, like, if you've ever seen Digital Rev's cheap camera challenge or cheap camera series, I think that's like the perfect representation of the fact that you don't need a really expensive camera to take some great images, and you can get the same sort of quality from a lot cheaper cameras. And you know, it's not always necessary to do so, and I don't want people to always feel like they have to and they're stressed about it and they're stressed about, you know, paying for a new upgrade all the time, because it's just not really that necessary, I guess. And I think I've come to the conclusion that I don't feel like I need to upgrade everything. You know, my kit is starting to get a bit old, like when I look at it, but it's still a kit that I love to use at the moment, and until my camera actually does start completely dying, that's probably when I'll look at getting a Mark IV, hopefully. But I mean, I've got a feeling that it's probably going to be sometime in the next year or so, but depending on my financial situation, obviously cameras are not cheap. As well, most of you may have noticed that I use Photoshop CS5, and that is obviously a bit below CC, which is the current version. And of course financials come into it as well. CC is kind of like an ongoing payment, so it's just, for one, I feel like for what I use Photoshop for and the tools that I use in it, I don't feel it necessary to upgrade to CC. And not yet anyway. That's not to say that I won't ever upgrade to it, I probably will, but At the moment, CS5 is fine for what I need it for, and it has been since 2011, I think, when I got it, and that's why I still do my tutorials using it, and it's a great program. I love it, and I don't really feel like I need to upgrade at this stage. So a lot of people out there might not have CC yet, and you know, if they feel under pressure to upgrade, I'd say just use it until you feel like you really need to. I think there's just so much new technology coming on the market these days, and people are always just so taken in by all this new technology that they feel like they need to go out and buy. And I mean I'm just more of one of those chill people about it. Like, I just don't feel the need to, but a lot of people do feel the need to, and I think you don't always need to. And for a lot of photographers, younger photographers that have only just started out, I'd say honestly, don't worry too much about upgrading your stuff all the time, and don't worry about getting the most expensive equipment, because you can really do a lot with a little in terms of equipment. To be honest, I have also had a very small camera kit for the last 10 years or so. I've only usually worked with around 2 lenses, and I've got pretty basic studio lighting, and that's just, at the moment, it's how I like to work, it's how I like to experiment. I still have a lot to learn with photography. I will always be the first person to say that I'm not where I want to be with it yet, and I feel like most creatives kind of feel that way. But I feel like eventually I'll get to the point where I probably want to upgrade some of my stuff, and that's fine. But for now, I'm still learning a lot, and I feel comfortable with the studio equipment that I'm using, the basic studio setups, and I'm really comfortable with my camera still. It's only just as of late where it's started to really not sync well with my lights. It's turning off at random times, and there's just a few little things going wrong with it. It's starting to just sort of affect the way that I shoot, but you know, I can always upgrade at some other point. And that's the thing, I used to get asked a lot, why haven't I upgraded to the Mark III? Like, why are you still using the Mark II? And people ask me these questions quite a bit, and they kind of try and make you feel like you're a bit like lesser for not having the most expensive equipment. But I figure as long as I'm taking the photos that I want to take, and I'm experimenting and I'm learning with it, then I don't need to upgrade. And I think maybe a lot of people don't feel that way, and it's okay to feel that way. I think, you know, there's always going to be new technology coming out. Like I said, I think you kind of know when it's time to upgrade, when things start going wrong and things start sort of failing you, and that's probably when it is time to upgrade, I guess. This isn't to say that a lot of like tech people out there like that are really interested in their new gear and stuff, I'm not telling them to stop doing what they're doing, like, and upgrading. That's cool. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I just take the pressure off a little bit more, take the stress off. Every time new technology comes out, you just don't feel like you have to always upgrade, because you don't. I think it's great to work with a smaller kit and to work with less expensive gear at first, and then sort of build your way up, and then you sort of grow with the equipment that you're using as well. And it doesn't feel as intimidating as, you know, having been doing photography for like you know, a few weeks, and then going and buying this big camera and being like, I don't really know what to do with it, or maybe not use it to its like full potential. Because I know I felt that way before I got my 400D. I was like, no, I just want something fairly small that I can sort of practice with at first, and then in a few years then I'll look at upgrading. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So anyway guys, this is just a very quick video to sort of go over a few of my thoughts on upgrading equipment. If you've upgraded any of your equipment lately, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what you've upgraded to. Let me know what your new camera accessories are, and I will see you next time. Bye!